Some little boys are raised to act like men, and some little boys are raised to just stop acting like a girl. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes you'll be talking to an adult guy and you can tell, like, right off the bat which type of boy he was. You know, I saw this video once. It was posted by this barista. And she says that she works at the coffee shop, and sometimes a man will come in and order two drinks and feel compelled to tell the barista which drink is for him and which one is for his wife. And of course, that's completely irrelevant information for the barista. The barista doesn't care or need to know which drink you are going to drink. But this barista was saying that it happens every day. A man will come in and be like, I want a black coffee, whatever, and my wife wants a cappuccino, iced frappa, whatever. And that's a man who was just raised to not act like a girl, right? Because in his head, he has decided that hot black coffee is boy drink, iced coffee with fancy sweeteners in it is girl drink. Therefore, if anybody is walking around with the impression that I might drink a girl drink, I'll be embarrassed. I'll be humiliated. I'll be emasculated. And that's a really obvious and clear example of what I'm talking about, but sometimes it's more subtle and complex, right? Like, take, for example, the weirdly masculine coded characteristic or trait, personality trait of being a good protector. If you were a boy who was raised up to be like a man, your concept of what it means to be a good protector is, I have a long list of people who feel safe around me. But guys who were just raised to stop acting like a girl, guys who think that being masculine means looking at what women do and just doing the exact opposite, they're going to be walking around as adults with, like, the concept in their head that if they want to come off as a good protector, they need to have a long list of people who don't feel safe around them, people who are scared of them or threatened of them, which causes all sorts of other weird behaviors, right? Like, if you're a guy who thinks that the only way that you can come off as masculine is if there's a whole bunch of villains out there in the world who are scared of you, and you don't have access to enough villains, well, now you just start creating villains where there are none, so that you have somebody to threaten, so that you have somebody to make you look like a man. I think this also helps explain that weird kind of manosphere paradox where they act like the way to get women is to run around advertising how much you hate women, right? Because if you're the type of guy who thinks that being manly means being the opposite of girl, if you just are constantly yammering and gibbering about how much you hate girls, you think that that makes you look like a man. And women want a man who looks like a man. It's a paradox in practice, but, like, in theory, it kind of has its own internal logic. But I don't think red-pilled manosphere men are thinking about their own thoughts. That would be very femme of them, right? So I don't even think they notice this paradox. I think it's all going right over their heads. I'm 42 right now, and only in the last couple of years have I really felt like I've become, like, aware of this difference between a positive masculinity that is the presence of manhood versus a negative masculinity that is just the absence of femme, right? And as I look back on my own life, I don't think I was a straight line. When I was in high school, I didn't give a fuck what the other boys thought about me. And then when I kind of, like, left my family, moved out on my own during out my 20s, I did start getting really worried about what other men thought about me. And I got more and more of a model of, to be manly, I just had to be seen as the opposite of girl throughout my 20s. And then throughout my 30s, I stopped giving a shit what men thought about me again and started pulling myself back out. So that's just to say, I think for most guys, it's probably not like you were raised as one or the other. It's like you kind of got a little of both. Like, at any given time, you have both options in front of you. Which way do you want to, like, do manliness or do manhood? And at any given time, you might be picking from pile A, pile B. People might be encouraging you to pick from pile A or pile B. And that's just going to be the mess of being a person.